Okay. Today we are going to start. So, testing methodologies.
पेपर थून टाकायचा सर जान दे चाहतो ना.
Okay. So, there are three types of testing methods. Okay. So, the first one is white box testing, and the second one is black box testing, and the third one is gray box testing. Okay, so these are the three types in testing methodologies. See, white box testing. So first of all, I'm going to explain the white box testing. White box testing means nothing but so who is having internal logic code? So who is having internal logic code? Internal logic code means who knows the algorithms? Who knows the algorithms? So who knows the source code? So how they are going to write the code on the back end? Okay, so those type of peoples, they are going to perform white box testing. Okay, so for suppose if there are some peoples are there like who knows coding knowledge, the coding knowledge is like there are some looping statements are there and control statements are there like if condition, for loop, and also else if, and also while, do while. Okay, and these type of skills who is having, those type of peoples, they are going to perform white box testing. Okay, so in white box testing, so how the developers are going to work? Okay, so the white box testing process I'm going to explain here. The white box testing process is like whenever you guys are receive the requirements. Okay, so I'm going to draw some example here. Okay, in white box testing, the process will be like this. Okay, so first of all, we receive the requirements from the customer. Okay, so these are the requirements received from the customer, and based on that requirements, the developers, they are going to write a code, or we can call it as program. Based on the requirement, the developers, they are going to write a code or program. So now after writing the program, what the developers are going to do? They are directly executing the program.
No, they are testing it, unit testing.
So they need to perform first review. Okay, so developers, they need to perform code review. We can call it as code review. So whether they have properly write the code, or is there any mistakes on the program like syntax errors, those things they are going to review the program. Okay, after review the program, they are directly executing. Still they are not going to execute the program. What they are doing? Again, they are going to perform compilation. Okay, so once they have done the compilation, what will happen? If you guys are missing after reviewing, still you guys are missing some of the like syntax errors, okay, or there are some warnings. Okay, whenever you guys are performing compilation, automatically the tool will throw the error messages. Okay, what are the syntax errors are there, or otherwise there are some warnings. Okay, that will be through the tool. Okay, so once the compilation is completed, okay, so whatever the issues you found, you need to fix those issues, and after that, now the developers, they are going to perform execution. They are going to execute the program, or we can call it as code. Okay, so in real time, what is happening in white box testing? What we are going to do means, so as per the requirements, they are going to develop a program, or we can call it as code. Okay, once the code is completed, they are going to review the code. So the code review, how we can do? So line by line code, we are going to review whether we have properly written the program or properly developed the code. We need to review. Once the review is completed, but still we are unable to find out any issues on that particular program, again they are going to perform compilation. So in the compilation, what will happen? they are going to find out a compilation errors and our warning messages. Okay, those compilation errors and warning messages, they are going to modify the program, or we can call it as modify the code. Okay, so after modifying these things, finally the developers, they are going to execute the program. They are going to execute the program. Here, what will happen? The programming is nothing but we have different types of programs. Okay, if the project, the client was asking Java platform. Okay, Java developers are required, and Java developers, they are going to write a Java program. Okay, our client is asking .NET platform. Okay, .NET developers are required. Okay, .NET developers, they are going to develop the application in the .NET programming language. Okay, our client was asking C language, C developers are required, C++, C++ developers are required, or otherwise Python developers are required, Python developers are required, Python developers, they are using Python platform, the Python developers are required, or otherwise they have ServiceNow developers are required, so ServiceNow developers are going to develop the application. That depends on, we have different types of programming language. Okay, so based on that customer requirement, the developers are working on that coding part. Okay, this coding part, we need a internal logic code. Internal logic code means like here they are going to execute the programs like we need a conditional statements. The conditional statements comes under, we can call it as if or for loop, if else, and also looping statements like while, do while, and also we can call it as for loop. Okay, these are all comes under this void bug testing. And also we are going to test, the developers, they are going to test path checking. So path checking means nothing but in the path checking, we are going to write the conditional statements. We are going to write the conditional statements. Okay, guys, this is related to we can call it as who is having internal logic code. Those type of people, they are going to perform this white box testing. Okay, so we are the black box testers. Okay, testers, we are the black box tester. Even if we have the coding knowledge, then you can able to perform white box testing. If you don't have the coding knowledge, you are unable to perform white box testing. Why? Because see, without coding, we cannot write a single program also. Okay, and here path checking. Path checking is nothing but we are going to test the conditional statements. Okay, conditional statements are correctly prepared or not. Okay, so efficiently we are going to prepare the conditional statements, or we need to verify. And also security testing. Security means in the program we have properly followed the application, secured developed application we have developed or not, we need to verify. And also there are looping statements. The looping statements I mentioned, looping statements are, we can call it as while, do while, for loop. These are all comes under looping statements. So these things are properly used or not. Okay, and also data flow testing. Data flow testing is nothing but so we can call it as, so whether the program variables are properly given or not, we need to verify. Okay, so whenever we are going to provide the variables, okay, the variables are properly declared or initialized, or we are going to use properly or not, we need to verify. Okay, so these things are going to perform in white box testing. Okay, and okay, who is this? Fine. Okay, so in this white box testing, there are three types are there. Three types are there. Those three types we can call it as unit testing, and we can call it as integration testing, and we can call it as regression testing. Okay, these are the three types of white box testing concepts are there. Okay, so now I'm going to provide some notes on the white box testing. Okay, you guys are understand still any questions on the white box testing? Okay, white box testing will be performed by who is having internal logic code. Those type of peoples, they are going to perform white box testing. And white box testing process will be like this. This is the white box testing process. The developers are receive the requirement from the customer, and based on that requirement, we are going to perform, we are going to write the program or write the code, and based on that program, we guys are properly preparing the program or not, we need to review. While reviewing, we guys are find out some issues. Those issues we need to modify. And after that, if still we are not getting any issues, then you need to compile the program. So whenever you guys are compiling the program, you guys are find out some issues like compilation errors, or we can call it as warning messages. Those compilation errors and warning messages we need to fill. And after that, finally, what we are going to do, we are going to execute the program. Okay, so this is the process they are going to perform in white box testing. Okay, so here in this white box testing, there are three types. So unit testing and integration testing and regression testing. See, unit testing, unit is nothing but a, see, developers, once the development is completed, they are going to move into testing environment. Before moving it to testing environment, the developers, they need to perform unit testing. The developers, they need to perform unit testing, whether the application is working fine or not, whether the testers, they can able to continue the testing or not. So that is the reason they are going to perform unit testing. Okay, integration testing. Integration testing is nothing but a, so they have developed different types of modules. Like there are three modules are there, 1, 2, 3 modules are there. So they are going to integrate these three modules. These three modules, they are going to integrate. Okay, so I'm going to provide an example here. Okay, so I have, this is the one module, and this is the one module, and this is the one module. Okay, individually, I have developed these three modules, and after that, what I'm doing, I'm going to integrate these modules. I'm going to integrate these three modules. Okay, after integrating these three modules, you guys need to verify whether the data communication between these modules are properly working or not. You guys need to perform integration testing. So the data communication is nothing but a, so you guys need to verify this area, integrated area. You guys need to verify this integrated area. Means if we have provided some data here, okay, for suppose I'm going to give an example here. So I have a, like there is a search form, we can call it as search form. Okay, in this search form, for suppose you guys can take example, there is a Abibus is there. Abibus, you guys are searching, like there is a to date and from date, you guys are selecting, and also you guys are selecting the date, and finally you guys are clicking on the search button. So whenever you guys are fill all these details, that you guys are clicking on search button, that related data is displaying here or not, we need to verify. Or otherwise, you can take Amazon application. In Amazon application, the first search form, we are able to see search form. So in that search form, you guys are searching iPhone mobiles. Okay, you guys are entering iPhone mobiles, you guys are searching, then click on search button. So here, iPhone results should be displayed. Okay, if iPhone results are displaying here, so okay, then the data communication between these these two modules, it is working fine. Okay, if you guys are searching iPhone, but here it is displaying iPhone, Samsung, there are different types of mobiles, then the data communication between these two modules not properly happened. Okay, so these things they are going to perform in integration testing. Okay, see, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and UAT testing, those are comes under levels of testing. Okay, so I am going to explore, I'm going to explain in detail on that particular concept. Okay, this is a just example. Here, the white box testers, they are going to perform unit testing, integration testing. So that is the reason I'm going to explain here. Okay, so this is called white box testing, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. You guys are understand? Are any questions here?
Sir, like this white box testing, right? In automation also, will be following the same thing? Like, will it be coming under automation also will be coming under white box, or how?
See, white box testing means, see, generally what we can do. So See, automation tester, we have coding knowledge, right?
Correct. Huh.
Okay,
Yes.
but here there is a source code is there. Okay, you know
Okay.
source code.
Yes.
Source
Yes.
code
Source
is
code.
nothing but a developer access. So staging environment, or we can call it a development environment. Okay, so for
Okay.
testers, they are not going to provide the access on source coding.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if they are providing access to source code, what will happen? Maybe we can do some changes, right?
Correct.
See, as a tester, you need to find out the issues, but you are unable to find out the issues on the application. If you have the access in the source code, maybe you can do some modifications in the program, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that is the reason source code access they are not providing. Okay, if we have the coding knowledge, then only they are going to provide the source code access.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, here source code access is required in white box testing because of we have done. See, if you guys are writing the program, you guys are writing the program in front end,
Back end. Back end.
back end only we are writing the program. But
Yeah.
testers, we can do front end testing. We cannot touch back end.
Correct.
Okay, so program will be written on back end. Program will be reviewed on back end. Program will be compiled on back end. Program will execute on the back end. We are not going to perform on front end, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the reason a white box testing. See, simply we can call it as the white box testing will be performed by the developers.
Okay.
But
And
we,
this. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
tell me.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, you
Like
can continue.
this will be, I mean, done on local machines, right, sir? Like or higher environments also, because first we will be doing in local machines only, right? This white box testing.
See, white box testing every time the developers only they can do. So in
Okay.
our local machines only.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Understand? Any questions, guys? Naresh, you have any questions?
No, sir. But only thing that you are saying white box is conducted by developers.
See, that is the reason I did not mention who is having internal logic code. Those type of people, they are going to perform white box testing. I did not mention the developers only they can perform. Why? Because see, automation testers, they have coding knowledge, right? Okay,
Right, sir.
automation tester, they are going to write a programs. Okay, they need to develop the script, right? So while executing automation, so they need to write a automation script. So they are going to write the programs also. So that is the reason I did not mention white box testing will be performed by who is having internal logic code. Those type of people only they can perform.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So the white box testing means white box testing means uh, white box testing is a testing method based on knowledge of the internal logic. We can call it as algorithm of application code. Okay, so white box testing is a testing method based on knowledge of internal logic code is called white box testing. Okay, it's an approach that attempts to cover the software's internals in detail. Okay, it's an approach that attempts to cover the software internals in detail. Okay, so and white box testing, we can call it as, there are other names also there. White box testing is also known as, is also called as glass box testing, okay, and clear box testing, Okay, and also transparent box testing. And structural testing. Okay, now in white box testing, the process how the developers are going to perform this white box testing. Okay, now see why I mentioned developers means developers is nothing but a, see, if you are a who is writing the program, so those persons we can call it as developers. Okay, so that is the reason I mentioned, so developers. Okay, now developers write the code, and developers are review the code, and developers are compile the code, and finally developers are execute the code. Okay, the code means nothing but a, we have C, C++, okay, Java, Python, and so on, etc. We have different types of programming languages are there. Okay, so these programming languages we are going to write the develop the application. Okay, so in this sorry guys. Okay, in this they are going to use, there are conditional statements. Okay, the developers are using conditional statements. We can call it as if else, okay, and also else if, okay, and so on. Okay, and they are going to use, we can call it as looping statements. Looping statements, we can call it as the looping statements, while, do while, and for loop. Okay, so these are all comes under looping statement, and also they are going to perform security also. They are going to perform security. Why they need to perform security? Whether the developers are properly developing the application or not, we need to verify. Okay, so what are the secure application? Okay, secured and not secure application. How we know secured application? How we know non-secured applications?
HTTPS.
Yes, HTTP means non-secured application. HTTPS means
Secure.
secured applications. Okay, so they need to verify those things also. And the white box testing types. Okay, so there are three types. One is unit testing, and second one is integration testing. Third one is regression testing. Okay, so these are the white box testing. Okay, you guys are understand? Any questions? But guys, whenever you guys are explaining the white box testing, so you guys need to explain this process. Okay, what developers are doing in white box testing, you guys need to explain these points in the interface. Okay, so white box testing is a method based on knowledge of internal logic code, is called white box testing. Okay, so who is having, simply we can call it as, or otherwise I'm going to mention one more point here, who is having internal logic code, those type of persons they can perform white box testing. Okay, so this is also, we can call it as white box testing. Okay, you guys are understand? Any questions here? If you have any questions, please let me know, guys. Black box testing. This one is clear, white box testing.
Yes.
Okay, now comes under black box testing. Okay, now the black box testing is nothing but a, see, we are going to perform the black box testing. The testers, they need to perform black box testing. Okay, here I'm going to provide the black box testing. The definition, we can simply call it as no consideration will be given, no consideration will be given how the internal mechanism was developed by the developers. Okay, we can mainly focus on the customer requirements. Okay, see, if just I have mentioned no consideration will be given how the internal mechanism was developed by the developers. Okay, so that means no consideration is not given means, see, they are going to develop, is there any language? Okay, if the developers are going to develop the application in C language, C++, Java, Python, any language, that is not required for us. Okay, so we mainly focus on customer expectations. What is the customer requirement? Okay, so based on that requirement, we need to test the front end application. We are not touching back end. Okay, in front end, see, just yesterday I had given one form. There is a, I think, inquiry form. So in that inquiry form, name, email, phone number, and course, these things are I have provided. But am I explained what is the platform we have used for that application? You know what is the platform we are used for that application to develop that form? Platform using for this application?
Don't know.
Don't know. But still we can able to test, right?
Yes.
How? Based on the customer requirement. Okay, so based on the customer requirement, we are going to perform testing on the front end application. Okay, so white box testing means nothing but a no consideration will be given how the internal mechanism was developed by the developers. Internal mechanism is nothing but a application. Application, the developers how they are developing, we doesn't require. Okay, we mainly focus on customer requirements. Okay, so here what we can call it as, so we mainly focus on customer requirement. In that customer requirement also, you guys need to understand the requirement first. Okay, so here for suppose the customer has given the requirements. Okay, these are the customer requirements. Okay, first our target is, first the testers, they need to understand the requirements. They need to understand the requirements. Okay, how we can understand the requirement? See, you guys need to read the requirement, whether the requirement is understandable or not. Okay, so while understanding, if you guys are facing any issues, you can directly connect with the BA team, or otherwise you can directly reach out to the client also. But the requirement should be understandable. If the requirement is not clear, we cannot going to write the test cases and we cannot start testing. Okay, so that is the reason first you guys need to understand the requirement. After understanding the requirements, you need to analyze the requirement. Analyze the requirements, that means analysis. So you need to do the analysis. What are the scenarios are coming in this requirement? You need to find out the scenarios. Okay, what are the positive scenarios and what are the negative scenarios? how many scenarios are coming. You need to analyze the requirements. Okay. Now the next one, after analyzing, you guys need to identify valid inputs, or we can call it as valid test cases. Okay, so once you guys are understanding the requirement and you guys are analyzing the requirement, after analyzing, you guys need to identify what are the invalid inputs, what are the valid inputs, or we can call it as valid test cases. Now you guys need to identify invalid inputs, or we can call it as invalid test cases. Okay, you guys need to identify valid test cases and invalid test cases from the requirement. Okay, and after that, you guys need to open the application, open the browser in testing environment. You guys need to open the application in testing environment. For testers, we have a separate environment. Okay, you guys need to open the application in testing environment. Once you guys are open the application in testing environment, you guys need to enter valid inputs and verify successful messages are displaying or not. Okay, you guys need to, if you guys are identifying valid inputs, valid input means successfully you guys need to log in into that particular application. Okay, or you guys need to if you have searched something, so you guys are searching in iPhone mobile phone in the Amazon application, you guys need to get the valid results. The valid results are only iPhone results should be displayed. That is called valid results. Okay, now you guys need to enter invalid inputs and verify error messages are displaying or not. Okay, if you guys are providing invalid data, so you guys need to search. The search is nothing but we can call it as, you guys need to search with only alphabets. If you guys are searching with numbers, then application should throw error message. Okay, you guys need to verify I'm providing invalid data, application is throwing error message or not. You guys need to check. If the error message is displaying, then we can call it as pass. If the error message is not displaying, then we can call it as fail. The fail scenarios, you guys need to write the defects. Okay, understand? Guys, understand? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is called black box testing. Okay, in black box testing, we are going to perform these steps. Okay, our responsibility as a tester responsibility is, first of all, whatever the requirements the client has given, those requirements you need to understand first. If the requirement is clear, then you can start test cases preparation. Or if the requirement is not clear, you can directly connect with the BA team. Okay, if the BA have provided answers, you can continue your testing. Or otherwise, if still the BS don't have answer, then you can connect with the customer. Okay, the customer will give the proper response. After that, we are going to start tests. Okay, so this is the process we are going to do in the black box testing. Okay, so in black box testing, there are some techniques are there. So black box testing techniques, we can call it as the black box testing techniques. We can call it as equivalence class partition, boundary value analysis, and also error guessing, and there is a decision table. Okay, why we need to use the black box testing techniques means to reduce the test cases. To reduce the test cases, we are going to use these black box testing techniques. Okay, those techniques also I'm going to explain. Okay, now you guys are understand this black box testing, or anybody have any questions?
The testing which we'll be doing from front end is nothing but black box testing,
Yes,
right, sir?
correct.
Okay.
Understand, guys?
Yes.
Still, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, we are the black box testers. For us, we can call it as black box testers, or functional testers, or we can call it as QAs, or we can call it as quality control. Okay, there are different names.
Sir, like example, there will be some, example, back office kind of things, right? Where we will be storing data, etc., right?
Hmm.
Where we will be adding the data based on that, it will be showing in the front end, right?
Yeah.
So in that back office also, will be testing it or only in the front end case only?
Yeah,
Like example.
I'm giving example. See, per suppose if whatever the data you guys are entering here, if you guys are getting the results on the front end, this is called black box testing. If you guys are whatever the data you have entered, that will be stored in the backend. You guys need to check the in the backend. The backend is nothing but a database. Okay, the database we can call it as database testing. That is different.
Okay.
Okay, that comes under backend. That is called database testing. So in the database testing, what you guys need to do? Whatever the front end, if you guys are providing some front end data, you have saved the data, and then the data will be saving in the backend or not. You guys need to open the backend, the database SQL server. So in that, you guys need to write the queries. So based on that query, whatever the front end data you have provided, that data will be saving in the backend or not. If you guys are modifying the backend data, that data will be displaying in the front end or also we need to verify.
Okay. SQL and database testing both are same, sir?
Yeah. SQL means database testing, we need to write the queries.
Queries. Okay.
Yeah. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. So black box testing is the testing of requirements and functionality without knowledge of internal content or internal logic code, internal content or internal logic code. Inputs are fed into the system and outputs are determined, expected or unexpected. Okay, so this is the definition you guys need to explain. No consideration will be given how the internal mechanism was developed by the developers. Okay, we mainly focusing on the customer expectations or customer requirements. Okay, so this is called black box testing. Okay, now the black box testing process. Black box testing process. The process will be like this. Okay, so understand the customer requirements. Okay, and analyze the requirements. Analyze the requirements and identify the valid inputs, or we can call it as valid test cases. Okay, and identify the invalid test case, invalid inputs, or we can call it as invalid test cases. Okay, and open the application in testing environment, or we can call it as testing when the application in testing environment, or we can call it as testing server. Okay, enter valid inputs and verify or check whether we are getting successful messages or not. Enter invalid inputs and verify or check whether we are getting error messages or not. Okay, so just I'm going to provide one example here, guys, the real-time example. Okay, so for suppose I need to book a bus ticket. I need to book a bus ticket, guys. So how we are going to book the bus ticket? So first of all, you guys need to open the browser. Okay, any browser. You guys can open Chrome browser or Firefox or any browser, Edge browser, anything. Okay, and enter valid URL. Then click on enter. Okay, now you guys are entering the valid URL. For suppose you guys can take the valid URL is abibus.com. Okay, so here what we need to do? So select from in the from drop down. Okay, we are selecting the from, and we are going to select to in the to drop down. Okay, and also what we are going to do, select the departure date from departure date picker. We can call it as dates, we can call it as date picker. Okay, and after that you guys need to click on search button. Okay, then you guys need to click on select from the results page. Okay, see how we can select results. See, I'm going to explain the application here only. Okay, Abibus. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are going to select from, and we are going to select the date also, and we are clicking on search. Okay, now what will happen here? We are getting the results. Okay, so from these results we need to select any one, so we can call it as show sheets. Okay, now almost okay, so leave it. Okay, now what is happening? I'm selecting, click on select from the results page. Then what will happen? The page is redirecting to where? Passenger details. You guys need to enter the passenger details. Okay, and after that you guys need to enter the payment details, and then finally you guys are clicking on booking button. Okay, then what is happening? What is your expectation here?
Tickets will be booked.
Okay, your expected result should be bus ticket should be
Booked.
booked, and we will receive the email and mobile notifications. Okay, this is my expectation, right? Okay, so as per the requirement, I have written the test case. This is my test case, guys. Okay, just I'm expecting, this is my expectation. Okay, if I'm entering all these details, then the bus ticket will be booked and I need to receive one email notification and mobile notification. Now, if you guys are following these steps in the application, this is my application. I'm selecting. So for suppose, I'm going to select. Okay, I have selected. I think there is an internet problem, guys. Okay. Okay, now I'm clicking on, so here, so it is asking phone number. See, we need to log in first. Okay, after that we need to redirect here. Okay, finally what will happen? So the bus ticket is booking successfully. Okay, now you guys need to verify actual results. We can call it as, this is expectation from the customer requirement document. Okay, this actual results is nothing but a, now actually you guys are performing actual testing on the application. Previously we don't have application, guys. While you guys are writing these steps, we don't have application, we have only requirements, but actual results we have application. We need to follow this step by step in this application. Okay, after everything is done, so we need to receive the bus ticket is booking, and we are receiving the email and mobile notifications. Okay, now what is happening? This expected and actual results are matching. Then we can call it as the test case is pass. Okay, or otherwise, if the actual results, it is showing booking button is not working on the booking page. Okay, so that means my last step is failing. So whenever I'm trying to click on booking button, the button is not working in the application. Okay, in this application, then what will happen? This expected and actual both are not matching. Okay, then you guys need to raise the defect, booking button is not working. Okay, so this is called black box testing. Okay, in real time we are going to perform, we need to verify expected results and actual results both are matching or not. Okay, you guys are understand? Any questions, guys? Guys, please let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, tell me, Amik, you have any questions? Or Naresh, you have any questions?
Not from mine.
Okay, Naresh, you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, this is called black box testing, guys. Okay, and black box testing techniques are there. Okay, black box testing techniques. Okay, there are different types of techniques are there. We can call it as equivalence, class partitioning. We can simply call it as ECP. Okay, and boundary value analysis. Okay, we can call it as BVA. Okay, and we can call it as error guessing. And we have decision table. Okay, this topic I'm going to explain in next class. Okay, now we need to focus on the third topic is gray box testing. Okay, so gray box testing. See, gray box testing means nothing but a who is going to perform both black box and white box testing. Those type of peoples we can simply call it as gray box testers. Okay, so they can perform development and they can perform testing. Those type of peoples we can simply call it as gray box testers, guys. For gray box testers, we have a role called SDET. SDET is nothing but a software development engineer in test. Okay, so here what they are doing, the gray box tester, they are going to develop the application and they are going to test the application. They are going to develop the application and they are going to test the application. Those type of persons we can call it as gray box testers. Okay, so the gray box testers, they know the internal logic code and they know the black box testing also. Okay, so those type of peoples we can simply call it as gray box testers. Okay, and gray box testers, I'm giving the notes. Gray box testing uses a combination of black box and white box testing. Gray box test cases are designed with knowledge of the internal logic code. Okay, algorithm. See, simply we can call it as the who are working on automation testers. Those persons we can call it as they are also gray box testers. Okay, they can perform both the white box testing and also black box testing. White box testing means they are going to write the test cases designed in internal logic code. Internal logic code is nothing but a Selenium program. Selenium they are going to use. In Selenium we are using core Java. Okay, so in core Java they are going to write the scripts, test case scripts. Here in black box testing we can call it as test cases, but automation we can call it as test scripts. Scripts means nothing but you guys need to use the internal logic code. Okay, of an application code, but the actual testing is performed as the black box testing. Okay, alternatively a limited number of white box testing is performed followed by conventional black box testing. Guys, here the definition is nothing but you guys can see here simply you guys can say gray box testing. Who will perform gray box testing means who is having internal logic code, or otherwise you can simply call it as who is perform both white box testing and black box testing. Those type of people we can simply call it as gray box testers. Okay, so in gray box testers, what they are doing? So they are writing the test cases in internal logic code. Okay, so here as a tester, manual tester, you guys are writing the test cases in general language. The general language means nothing but English language. But here the gray box testers, how they are creating test cases means they are going to create by using internal logic code. Internal logic code is nothing but a coding. So they are using coding. So writing the scripts, test scripts, we can call it as automation test script. We can simply call it as, okay. But finally, they need to perform black box testing only. Okay, they need to perform black box testing. Why? Because see, automation testing also you need to perform as per the customer requirement only. Okay, you did not perform, you cannot assume anything. Okay, you need to focus on black box testing only in this gray box testing also. If you guys are performing automation testing also, you need to focus on customer requirement only. Okay, so we have this role, we can call it as SDET. Okay, software development engineer in test. This is the role. If you guys can see in the Naukri, you guys can search SDET role. Okay, we have lots of openings, but the peoples are less peoples for SDET role. Okay, so this is the today's topic, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, you guys are understand this testing methodologies.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Naresh.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, fine. So I'm going to share. You guys are receiving the notes, daily notes.
Yeah, in WhatsApp we are receiving.
Okay, so you guys can please read that notes and you guys can come up with some questions, guys. So that if you guys are come up with some questions, then what will happen? I'm trying to give more examples.
Okay.
If you guys are come up with some questions, so that I can explain more examples. See, every topic I'm going to provide an example, guys, because of examples are very, very important. Okay, why I mention this example? This example is enough. This one is enough. Okay, but why I mention means you guys can easily understand. So that is the reason I'm mentioning examples. Okay. Yeah, this is the today's class, guys. And